Hey, what is up, ConnMovieMaker viewers? I'm Nate, and welcome back to episode 7 of Far Cry 4 News and Hype series. Today we are diving deeper into the backstory and creation of Pagan Min, the psychopathic villain of Far Cry 4. Yep, the guy in the pink suit on the cover. In order to create a unique villain, Ubisoft said they agonized over the design of Pagan Min. In my opinion, it must be extremely hard for a sane person to design a psychopathic character capitalizing in the opposite of what you as a sane person are against. Mark Thompson, the Far Cry 4 narrative director, was quoted saying, "We want someone who was a new generation of criminal, who would piss off their father and had a little bit of punk rock mentality. But we couldn't latch onto the visuals. We had this Gaddafi-style concepts of guy in ridiculous military garb who had given himself fake ribbons as prizes. It looked cool, but it wasn't original," end quote. Ubisoft was eventually able to base their villain off characters like Beat Takisho from Brother and Ichi from a Japanese movie called Ichi the Killer. Both of these characters wore vibrant suits like the pink-suited wearing Pagan Min we see on the cover art of the game. Jumping into Pagan Min's backstory, we find the son of a mid-level drug boss who had larger ambitions than simply inheriting his father's position. Pagan Min's birth name was actually Gang Min. He switched his name to Pagan Min when his father was killed by the Burmese king. When Pagan Min began to raise a small army and gain a bounty on his head, he sought refuge in Kyrate, a small state in civil war. Pagan began a bloody siege that ended only after he was firmly seated on the throne. In order to complete the role of Pagan Min, he needed a convincing actor to back him. It is hard to be so colorful and sadistic at the same time, which is what truly brings Pagan to life. Veteran voice actor Troy Baker took the spot. Baker is known for voicing characters such as Booker DeWitt in BioShock Infinite, Joel in The Last of Us, and Delsin Rowe in the infamous Second Son, along with many other roles. Thompson stated, and I quote, "He has an air of confidence. The room was silent when he auditioned." That's always a good sign when no one can talk when an actor is performing such an awesome audition. Pagan may be powerful, but his power isn't unchallenged. Early in Pagan's leadership, a resistance movement led by a man named Mohan Gale frustrated Pagan's supremacy with the tactful guerrilla skirmishes. However, Mohan and Pagan weren't just fighting for a country, they were fighting for the love of a woman named Ishwari. When this awkward love triangle ended with Mohan's death, Ishwari fled the country and Pagan retreated into his palace, leaving Kyrate to his lunatic governors. This is where the players enter the game. As Mohan's son, a man named AJ Gale, the protagonist of the game, players return to Kyrate for the first time since they were a child in order to scatter their mother's ashes across the top of Kyrate's tallest mountain. Quote, "Pagan has lots to reveal about your mother," says Thompson. "Pagan has a personal connection to you and that you don't understand. He uses that as a weapon against you. He's fun and charming, but also terrifying, evil but weirdly friendly. He can come to talk to you very matter-of-factly while everyone around you is being murdered. Your whole world is falling apart, but for him it's just 11 o'clock on the Tuesday," end quote. This is the terrifying opponent that players will have to face down as soon as they cross Kyrate's borders. Pagan is a psychopathic mess who is terrified by dying alone without a legacy. So how will he treat the son of one of his true love and most hated rival? Players will have to wait until the release of Far Cry 4 this fall to find out what truly happens in this weird, awkward, kind of almost anti-family love triangle reunion. That about wraps up this episode of Far Cry 4 News and Hype. Let us know in the comments what you think of the new villain Pagan Min and what you think of his backstory. If you like this episode, make sure to check out our previous episodes and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this episode. We will see you next time.